A very good morning, children. How are you all? Hope you all are taking a good care of yourself. So, welcome back to mathematics class. Let us start today's class. This is class 10th, subject mathematics, chapter number 10, circles, lecture number 5. And children, content I am going to cover from NCERT. Children, as I told you when I started this chapter that I am going to finish this chapter in total 5 lectures. So it means today it is our last lecture of this chapter number 10, circles. Fine, children? After that I will be taking the summary lecture of this chapter. Correct? Okay, children, in today's last lecture of chapter number 10, circles, the topics which I am going to cover, they are number 1. First of all, children, I will make you recall the statements of theorem 10.1 and theorem 10.2, which we did in our previous lectures also. After that, children, only one question from 10.2 is left, and along with it, I will be taking the examples which are most important based on these very theorems only, whose statements I am going to make you recall from exercise 10.2. Correct, children? So theorem 10.1 states that radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. Fine, children? And theorem 10.2 states that length of the tangents from an external point to the same circle are equal. So now let us start today's lecture. Children, our last question number 13 is left from exercise 10.2. That question I am going to explain you now. Fine, children? So what is the statement of question number 13? It is, prove that the opposite sides of a quadrilateral circumscribing a circle. Again, circumscribing a circle means the quadrilateral is covering the circle. Subtends supplementary angles at the center of the circle. First of all, understand what do you mean by statement, by this statement of this question. The opposite side of a quadrilateral. Here you can see that I have made a quadrilateral ABCD. What are its opposite sides, children? AB is opposite of CD and BC is opposite of AD. Fine. The opposite side of a quadrilateral circumscribing a circle means this quadrilateral has covered the circle. They are forming supplementary angles at the center of the circle. So children, here you can see that I have given total 8 angles. The name of total 8 angles that I will explain you. How did I give the name? Right now you have to just keep the one thing in your mind, that is AB is opposite of CD. What angle is going to be subtended by AB? AB is subtending angle AOB, that is angle 2 plus angle 3. In the same manner, the opposite side of AB, that is CD, is going to subtend angle COD, that is angle 6 plus angle 6, angle 6 plus angle 7. So what we have to prove that angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 6 plus angle 7 is equal to 180 degree. Children, this is not essential that you are supposed to take only AB and CD as parallel sides. You could take BC and AD also. But there you have to prove that angle 4 plus angle 5 plus angle 1 plus angle 8 is equal to 180 degree. Correct, children? Hope you may have understood the statement while looking at the diagram. So let us start its solution. Given let ABCD is a quadrilateral. What is quadrilateral? Quadrilateral is a polygon which is made up of 4 line segments. So here ABCD is the quadrilateral. Circumscribing a circle means it is covering a circle with center O. So let circle touches the sides of the quadrilateral, that is AB at point E, BC at point F, CD at point G, and of course AD at point H. The same I have written over here. Fine, children? This is given to us. Now, what we have to prove? We have to prove that The opposite side of a quadrilateral circumscribing a circle subtends supplementary angle at the center of the circle. So you can take either AB and CD as one of the opposite sides pair, or you can take BC and AD. That depends on you. So children, I am going to take AB and CD. So I have to prove that angle AOB plus angle COD is equal to 180 degree. Means angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 6 plus angle 7 is equal to 180 degree. Fine children? So children, as I have come to know that all the four sides of a quadrilateral are going to touch the circle at point E, F, G and H. So what can we say about these very points? Correct. These points are basically point of contact. Fine children. So one step I have done of construction also, what I have done, I have joined OE, OF, this is OG and OH. Fine. Or you can say that I have basically drawn four radii of the circle. Correct children. Now let us start its proof. First of all, I am explaining you through diagram, then we will read this proof. So children, first of all, I am going to prove triangle AOH and AOE as congruent. Means this triangle and this triangle. You can take these two also. That depends on you. You can take these two also, or you can take these two also. Fine, that depends on you. I am comfortable with these two, so I am going to take them. What I am going to prove now? I am going to prove that triangle AOE is congruent to triangle AOH. Children, I have taught you the same type of question earlier also. So you think which 3 points I should consider so that the congruency criteria will be satisfied. So let us take the very first one. If I am going to consider as point A as external point, then can I say that AE is equal to AH? Why? Because the length of the tangent from an external point to the circle at the point of contact till point of contact is equal. So AE is equal to AH. This AO is common and OE is equal to OH. Why? Because they are the radii of the circle. So by triple S congruency criteria, I can say that triangle AOE is congruent to triangle AOH. Correct children? So what can I say? I can say that angle 1 is equal to angle 2 by CPCT. That is corresponding parts of congruent triangles. Children, in the same manner, we can prove that BOE and BOF, these two are also congruent. So it means angle 3 must be equal to angle 4. In the same manner, COF must be congruent to COG. So 5 must be equal to 6. Similarly, angle 7 must be equal to angle 8. Correct. So after that, children, you know, as all these 8 angles are formed at one point only. So you know that the sum of all the angles which are formed at one point or angle at a point always form complete angle, that is 360 degree angle. So can I write angle 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 is equal to 360? Correct? So after that, whatever angles are equal, I can just put the another angle at place of them so that I can prove that angle 2 plus 3 plus 6 plus 7 are 180 degree. Okay. So now you have a look on the proof for better clarity of the concept. So children, I have taken triangle AOH and triangle AOE. AE is equal to AH. I have just taught you this point, that length of the tangent from the external point are equal. Then OE must be equal to OH. Why? Because they are the radii of the circle, and AO or OA, that is common side. Okay. So what can we say? That by triple S side congruency criteria, triangle AOH must be congruent to triangle AOE. So by CPCT, I have just explained you that angle 1 must be equal to angle 2. In the same manner, angle 3 is equal to angle 4, angle 5 is equal to angle 6, and angle 7 is equal to angle 8. You are not supposed to apply congruency criteria for rest of the 3 pairs of the triangle also. Correct children? So what you have to do? After that, you have to just go for the next point, that angle at a point always form 360 degree angle. So what I have written, angle 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus angle 5 plus angle 6 plus angle 7 plus angle 8 is equal to 360 degree. Why? Because these are all angles which are formed at a point. Okay. So children, at place of angle 1 I can write angle 2. Angle 2 will remain angle 2 only. At place of 3 I am writing angle 3, and at place of 4 I am writing angle 3. Why? Because they both are equal. In the same manner, angle 5 will be replaced by angle 6 and angle 6 will remain as it is. Then angle 7 and 8 are also equal. So angle 7 will remain angle 7, and angle 8 will be replaced by angle 7 is equal to 360. Now children, this is twice of angle 2 plus twice of angle 3 plus twice of angle 6 plus twice of angle 7 must be equal to 360 degree. Correct? So if I am going to take 2 common, so that 2 will go on right hand side and will divide this 360. So what I am going to get, I will be getting 180 degree. So angle 2 plus 3 plus 6 plus 7 is equal to 180 degree. So what were these 2 and 3? Let us check in the figure. Angle 2 and angle 3 were actually AOB, and angle 6 plus angle 7 are COD. So the same thing I wanted to prove, and I have proved it. Now just look at here. Angle AOB, that is angle 2 plus angle 3, and angle 6 plus angle 7 is angle COD, is equal to 180 degree. So hence proved. Now children, as our exercise 10.2 is over, so there are 2 most important examples which are mostly asked in board exam also. So those examples I am going to explain you in the easiest manner. This is example number 2, page number 212. 2 tangents TP and TQ are drawn to a circle with center O from an external point T. Then I have to prove that angle PTQ is equal to twice of angle OPQ. Clear? So you will better understand it through the diagram. I am going to show you the diagram. First of all, while reading the statement, we have come to know that what has been given to us. We will be having a circle with center point O given. And children, you know that there is an external point T. That's why 2 tangents TP as well as TQ are drawn. Fine. So there are 2 tangents TP and TQ to the circle. Of course, P and Q will be considered as the point of contact. Fine children. So here is the diagram of that question, that there is a circle with center O. T is the external point. TP and TQ. Of course, what are they? They are the tangents. T is external point, so definitely P and Q will be the point of contact. Now what we have to prove? We have to prove that angle PTQ, means this angle 1. For your convenience, I have given the name to the angles, is equal to twice of angle OPQ, means angle 2. So I have to prove that angle 1 is equal to twice of angle 2. Correct children? Now children, if I join both the point of contact, so I have got a triangle TPQ. And please have a look. As you know that TP is equal to TQ. Reason? Theorem 10.2. That length of the tangent from the external point to the circle is equal. So if TP is equal to TQ, then can I say that TPQ is an isosceles triangle? If this is an isosceles triangle, then definitely base angle will also be equal. Means angle 3 must be equal to angle 4. Correct children? So now just have a look on its proof. TP is equal to TQ. Reason behind that length of the tangent from the external point T to the circle. Okay. As TP is equal to TQ, look at here. TP is equal to TQ. So when 2 sides are equal of a triangle, so what do we call that triangle? Of course, isosceles triangle. So we can say that TPQ is an isosceles triangle. If TP is equal to TQ, it means angle 4 must be equal to angle 3. Reason behind? Base angles. Correct children? Okay. Now I am going to apply angle sum property on this isosceles triangle, that is angle 1 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 must be equal to 180 degree. Have a look. Angle 1 plus 3 plus 4 is equal to 180 degree. That is angle sum property of a triangle. Correct, children? Okay. Just have a look once again on the diagram. You know that OP is radius and TP is tangent. And according to theorem 10.1, radius is always perpendicular to tangent. So what can I say? That OP is perpendicular to TP. So can I write, children, angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to 90 degree? Of course, this is the complete angle will be of 90 degree. Fine. So the same thing I have written over here. Now angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to 90 degree. Reason? Because radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. Fine, children. Now from this very equation, I am going to calculate the value of angle 3. So what would be angle 3? Angle 3 is equal to 90 degree minus angle 2. Fine. But as I know that angle 3 and angle 4 are also equal. So it means angle 4 will also be equal to 90 degree minus angle 2. Correct. So let us consider them as equation number 2 and equation number 3. Put these values of angle 3 and angle 4 from equation 2 and equation 3 in equation number 1, which is actually showing angle sum property of a triangle. Fine, children. Now have a look. Put the values of equation number 2 and 3 in equation number 1. So equation number 1 we had angle 1 plus, at place of angle 3 I am writing 90 degree minus angle 2 plus, at place of angle 4, this is angle 4, I am writing again 90 degree minus 2 is equal to 180 degree. Fine, children. So this is angle 1 plus 90 degree plus 90 degree will give you 180 minus angle 2 minus angle 2, that is minus twice of angle 2 is equal to 180 degree. This 180 and 180 are going to be cancelled. Fine. So I have got angle 1 is equal to 2 times angle 2. So what is angle 1? Just look at here in the diagram. Angle 1 is PTQ, which is equal to twice of angle 2, that is twice of angle OPQ. Shouldn't we want the same thing to be proved? So we have proved it. Clear, children? So it implies to that angle PTQ is equal to twice of angle OPQ. Hence proved. This is very important question, children. Fine. Now let us switch to example number 3. What is its statement? So example 3 is PQ is the chord of length 8 centimeter of a circle of radius 5 centimeter. Means you will be having a circle given whose radius is 5 centimeter, and that circle is having a chord whose name is PQ, and what is its length? That is 8 centimeter. The tangents at P and Q intersect at a point T. So we will have to calculate the length TP. Fine, children? Okay, so here is the diagram. Please understand this question through diagram, and after that I will be showing you its written proof. Okay. So there is a circle with center point O. PQ, this is a chord. Here I have drawn PQ is a chord. T is the external point, and TP and TQ, they both are the tangents. Correct, children? And I have to calculate the length TP. If I calculate the length TP, obviously I am calculating the length TQ as well. What's the reason? Correct. The length of the tangent from the external point to the circle is equal. So basically I have to calculate the length of either of the two tangents, that would be same. Okay. So now let us start what is given in this question first of all. A circle of radius 5 centimeter. Correct. PQ is a chord of length 8 centimeter. TP and TQ are two tangents to the circle. Fine. Now what we have to find out? We have to find the length TP, which is actually a tangent. Correct, children? So children, here in the diagram you can see that OP and OQ, they both are radius of 5 centimeter each. This complete PQ is of 8 centimeter. So what I am going to do, children, a small construction I am going to do. I am joining OT. Fine. As I joined OT, so definitely this OT is going to intersect a complete chord PQ at some point. So let that point be R. Okay. Now children, what you have to do? First of all, you have to prove that triangle TPO and triangle TQO as congruent. How can I prove them as congruent? OP is equal to OQ, radius of the circle. Okay. Now, this TP is common. And third one will be the length of the tangent from the external point is equal, means TP must be equal to TQ. So children, I have proved that triangle TPO is congruent to triangle TQO. Fine. So definitely by CPCT, what can we say? That this angle means angle PTO must be equal to angle QTO, means they both will be equal. If you do not want to prove them congruent, then directly also you can write that OT is the angle bisector of PTQ. Fine. But in my opinion, you should prove the congruency. Then and only then it will be clear in your mind that why OT has been considered as the angle bisector of angle PTQ. Correct, children? So this I have explained you through congruency basically, because in NCERT also directly it is written that OT is the angle bisector of angle PTQ. But you should know the reason behind it. Why this is OT is known as the angle bisector. I have told you the reason. Okay. So as they both are congruent, so what can I say? That angle PTO is equal to QTO. Or in other words, you can write that OT is the angle bisector of PTQ. Fine, children? Okay. Now, so children, as we have proved that OT is the angle bisector of PTQ, angle PTQ. Fine. Then we can say that OT is perpendicular on PQ as well. If OT is perpendicular on PQ, then we can say that OR is also perpendicular on PQ. So children, you know, you learnt this theorem in class 9th. Even I made you recall it in previous lecture as well. Whenever there is a perpendicular drawn from the center point that bisect the chord. So when the chord was of complete 8 cm, it means PR must be equal to RQ. So both will be 4 cm each. Okay. And children, we know that radius is perpendicular to the tangent. So it means this complete triangle means TPO is going to form a right angled triangle. Correct, children? In the same manner, as I told you that radius is when a perpendicular drawn from the center point, it bisect the chord. If this is of 90 degree, then by straight line angle, I can say that TRP will also be of 90 degree. So I can apply right angle triangle or Pythagoras theorem on this right angle triangle as well, means the smaller one, that is TPR. So what I have to do, basically I have to apply Pythagoras on this smaller triangle, that is TPR, and on the bigger triangle, that is TPO. Correct, children? So now you will better understand when you will see its proof. So in proof, first of all, I am going to consider the length TP as X, and this complete TR up to here I am going to consider as Y. Here I have written, have a look. Let TP is equal to X and TR is equal to Y. What did I do? I have just told you that I joined OT. So let it intersect PQ at point R. That has been shown you in the diagram. That OT is intersecting PQ at point R. Fine. Now children, TPQ will become an isosceles triangle. How it will become an isosceles triangle? Because look, have a look here. The length of the tangent from the external point are equal. So means this angle, that is TPR, must be equal to TQR. Why? Because it will become an isosceles triangle. So base angles must be equal. Okay. Now as I have just, while congruency I have explained you that TP will become the angle bisector of angle PTQ. Fine. I have just explained you through congruency that this part means PTQ PTO must be equal to QTO. So it means we can say that OT will enact like the angle bisector of PTQ. Correct, children? So it means OT must be perpendicular on PQ. If OT is perpendicular on PQ, then what can we say? That OR is also perpendicular on PQ. Fine. So, as we know that perpendicular drawn from the center point that bisect the chord. So what can we write? That PR is equal to RQ is equal to 4 centimeter. Okay, children. Now, as I explained you that I am going to take two triangles which both of them have become right angle triangle. So first of all, I am going to take triangle PRT. So here is triangle PRT. Apply Pythagoras on this smaller triangle. This is 90 degree. The side opposite of 90 degree will be hypotenuse. So hypotenuse square means x square is equal to perpendicular square, that is 4 square means 16, plus base square, that is y square. So let us check it. Look, by Pythagoras theorem, x square is equal to y square plus 4 square, that is 16. So let it consider as equation number 1. Now children, I am going to take another right angle triangle, that is OPT. This bigger one, that is OPT. Fine. How did I come to know that this is forming a right angle triangle OPT? Because radius is perpendicular to tangent at the point of contact. So it means this angle, that is TPO, will be of 90 degree and the side opposite of 90 degree will be hypotenuse. So what is hypotenuse? That is y plus 3, this complete side. So y plus 3 whole square is equal to x square, this is x, plus 5 square. So let us check it. The same thing is written, y plus 3 whole square is equal to x square plus 5 square. So let us consider it as equation number 2. Now children, let us subtract equation number 1 from equation number 2. So while subtracting equation number 1 from equation number 2, what do we get? We have got that y square plus 9, because I am going to open its identity, y square plus 9 plus 6y. So what are the terms which are written containing y square? That is y square plus 16, means you can shift it over here. You can write y square plus 16 on left hand side and x square on right hand side. Fine children. So this is y square plus 16, that is minus y square minus 16. I told you that you can bring this y square plus 16 on left hand side and x square you can take on right hand side because they both are equal expressions. Fine. So this must be equal to x square plus 25, okay, minus x square, because I am going to subtract equation number 1 from equation number 2. Fine. So now y square positive and y square negative will be cancelled. In the same manner, x square positive and x square negative will be cancelled. So I have got 6y minus 7, because minus 16 plus 9 will give you minus 7 is equal to 25. So 6y is equal to 25 plus 7, that is equal to 32. So y is equal to 32 upon 6, that is 16 upon 3. Fine children. Now what was y considered? Y was basically the baseline. Look, this was y. But we don't want y. What do we want? We want x. So what can be done for finding the value of x? I can put the value of y either in equation number 1 or in equation number 2. That depends on me. So I am going to put the value of y in equation number 1. What is equation number 1? That is x square is equal to y square. At place of y, I am writing 16 upon 3 whole square plus 16. Okay. Now children, have a look. Instead of opening it, I am going to take 16 as common. Once 16 is taken as common. So this was 16 whole square. So means 1 times 16 is also left. But 3 square as it is left. So 3 square I have written as 9. Plus 16 has been taken as common. So here 1 will come. Understood? Now let us solve this bracket first. Because they are fractions. So definitely we will have to take LCM. 9 will be LCM. So what I am going to get? I will be getting 16 plus 25 at numerator. Sorry, 16 plus 9. 16 plus 9 upon 9. Okay. So I have got x square is equal to 16 into 16 plus 9 is 25 upon 9. Correct children? So what will be the value of x? When I am going to find the value of x, so definitely I will be getting here under root. So what is the square root of 16? That is 4 into what is square root of 25? That is 5 and of 9 upon 3. Correct? So children, I have got x is equal to 4 into 5 upon 3. That is x is equal to 20 upon 3. And what was considered x? Correct. The length TP, which is basically the length of a tangent. That is equal to x is equal to 20 upon 3 centimeter. Fine children? Now children, I have covered each and every question of exercise 10.2 as well as 10.1 along with the examples also. Fine. Now I am going to give you only the revision work. You have to revise complete exercise 10.2 in practice notebook. Fine children. Now children, after this lecture I will be taking your summary lecture and then you please be ready for the test. Please prove yourself because I have given you the solution of each and every question of chapter 10. Fine. I hope you may have understood each and every concept whatever I have explained you, and you will definitely be performing well in your test. Fine children? Revise this exercise honestly in your practice notebook. Fine? Please consider practice work also as your main homework. Correct children? So that's it for the day. Please like the video and do not forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.